Hi everyone, this is Josh Schultz. I just wanted to give you some information about our ESOL endorsement of bilingual specialization here at WU. Um, an ESOL endorsement is a something that you add to your existing license. So once you get a license, you would add an ESOL endorsement to that license. A specialization is something you also have with license, but it's not quite, doesn't require the same amount of coursework. Okay, so if you get a little bit of differentiation in that, if you're bilingual and you have heritage language skills, or if it's your first language, or if you are proficient in that language in which you feel comfortable delivering instruction in another language like Russian or Spanish, etc., you can add a bilingual specialization to your license. So most of the students here at WU are working with adding the ESOL endorsement to their license if they've come to me about that. So some of we can talk more about the differences later. If you have questions, let me know. So why would you add an ESOL or an ESOL bilingual endorsement? Well, the bottom line, quite frankly, is you're more marketable to schools and districts. Some in the past, some of our big school districts like Salem-Kaiser has required that, or they've actually required that in hiring. They're at this current moment, they are not doing that because there's for a number of reasons, okay, but they have definitely a preference for those candidates that have this endorsement on their license. If there is a significant population of culturally and linguistically diverse students, as there are in the Washington and Oregon and California areas, or depending on where you want to teach, having this endorsement is going to be make you super marketable. You'll have a specialized skill set and knowledge base. If the students you're working with are learning in a new language, for them, having that depth of knowledge about language acquisition and learning and how to teach students who are linguistically diverse is going to make you a more effective teacher. As I mentioned, you have broader opportunities for teaching positions. Western Oregon, of course, we're dedicated to preparing teachers for Oregon public schools, private and public schools. However, I've also helped students get jobs outside of the state and in foreign locales, and having that ESOL endorsement has also been very helpful. The other things are pretty self-explanatory. Of course, you have an inclusive philosophy, and we support an additive perspective. We're not looking to eliminate a student's first native mother home language. We're looking to add to the student's language repertoire or capabilities, or however you want to explain it. Okay, and so having this skill set is important. So to get the endorsement, there are a series of 6 courses, and you're all taking the introduction course. So after that course, there are courses in that address policy and program models, ways to work with understand culture and work with the community. There are second language acquisition courses, so you understand how languages are learned and taught, and you gain in-depth knowledge of linguistics, so you can be a better teacher of the English language development. There are also methods courses for both ESOL English language development, which are focusing on teaching English specifically either in a pull-out setting or specifically in an ESOL setting, or an ELD lesson, English language development, or methods for teaching students who are mainstreamed. In order to add the endorsement, after you've taken about 5 of the courses, you are ready to take the NES, National Education. Oh no, I'm forgetting what that means. NES. Anyway, you're ready to take the exam, and you get a final score that is passing, okay, which is like 270, I think, 250, something like that. And then you send the score to our send it to Miss Jones here in the Office of Licensure, okay? And then we'll get you ready for a practicum, okay? And I'll tell you a little bit more about your practicum, but I will say that the practicum is part, and it's integrated into your full-time teaching clinical experience. So your practicum is done in your final term of your teacher candidacy. We ask that, one of the reasons that we ask that you give us a heads up, if you can give us a heads up of at least a couple of terms, we want to make sure that you're placed in a place that has, in a school setting that has at least 20% emergent bilinguals, and that your cooperating teacher has an ESOL endorsement. So this is the part that may or may not change in terms of COVID and the social distancing measures that are being implemented in schools. So I don't want anybody to quote me on this, and I know that uncertainty as you're planning your program is difficult, but I ask for your patience in this. What we've done is, let's start, of course, we know that having a face-to-face practicum is ideal. We want you working with students, not necessarily, online. And if that can be done, what we usually have is that we have you working with those students, and you have 4 visits, and 2 visits with your ESOL cooperating teacher, and 2 with your WU ESOL supervisor. Okay, so they are. These are lessons that are designed. It says no double dipping, and I didn't write that, but that is something that is really kind of important, that you know that you're designing lessons for English language development. Okay. What else? What can we do? Let's see. What else can I tell you? Oh, so in this time of COVID, we have designed a practicum that may be completed virtually. It includes designing some lessons that you would either video record and send to us. If you are working with students virtually, depending on your practicum, we can make it work simply. If you're working with them in a practicum, you may be recording a lesson that you've designed online, or you may just practice teaching in an environment which there are no students. So again, that is not something that is ideal, but we have worked it out here in the Division of Education and Leadership, and you will have TSPC approval for that, and you'll be able to get this endorsement added to your license. Get a lot of support from faculty here, so we really want to make sure that you're successful. So, as I mentioned, in addition to the coursework, as part of this practicum experience, and in addition to the observations, you also create an ESOL practicum project, which is a series of lesson plans, unit planning, with a special emphasis on linguistic support for a broad range of English language learners. So we have a large number of students who have completed the ESOL endorsement. We're very proud of the strength of our program. We have a lot of folks that come back and thank us for us. We're very well regarded in the state of Oregon for this program. We are adept at meeting your needs as COVID arises and as things change. So, with that being said, reach out if you have any questions, and I'm happy to answer them for you. A special note, if you are looking for the bilingual specialization, one additional measure that we ask you to take is an ACTFL exam, which is a foreign language exam that the state has decided will prove your proficiency in a foreign language. Okay. If you have any questions, you can first contact the ESOL program coordinator, Dr. Jessica Doherty, and Jessica will advise you as to who your ESOL advisor would be. Okay, so we divide that across the division. If you're a EMAT or an MAT person, you can contact me directly if you'd like. All right, so thanks at Schultz, SCHULZE @woo.edu. Should add that here, but okay. Thanks. Have a great day. Let me know if you have any questions.